Hello viewers, the time is 4:45 p.m. April 18th. This is my test of the Fimi Palm. You're currently watching in 4K, 30 frames a second. That is the highest maximum resolution available on this particular camera and frame rate. But for all intents and purposes, I would say that it works out pretty well. So we're going to go on a tour of the backyard here and to test out the color balancing and the stability of the camera. So we will proceed here with a triple tap and we'll flip the camera back around. Pretty neat feature if you ask me. 1, 2, 3. Boom. So you can tap and hold the joystick button to switch the function of the joystick from moving the camera over to EV shift. Now I'm going to try and use the camera without really looking at it. So I'm just going to kind of hold my hand out. That's where the camera is going to be pointing generally. So I'll get some steps here. Step. Oof. Slip. A little bit of grass on my hands there. It's alright though. Plastic back here. Now it's stopping the grass, but it's not really stopping the tall ones, these guys, from growing. Now these are native to California. They grow pretty much everywhere. And they don't need a whole lot of sunlight to survive, as you can see. They're still trying to push through the plastic here. The grass, on the other hand, is being held at bay, which is good. So underneath here, it's mostly dirt. There you go. There you go. As you can see, trying to pick our way through here. From up there. So if you hold the stick, it'll switch to the zoom function, so you can zoom in pressing up 3 times. That's the maximum. So there's more right there. There's some right here. And zoom back out. Now single tap will stop the recording. Double tap will bring it back to center. There's the center. So if you do a lot of stick moving, that's what's going to affect that. So pushing up on the stick to look up at the sky. Pretty cool. Alright, back down. Alright, now that's going to look pretty cool, I think. So let's do a triple tap to show the selfie mode. 2, 3. So I find that you can tap it, a couple times. It doesn't have to be like tap, tap, tap. It can be like tap, 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 or like tap, 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 and then it'll recognize those 3 taps. I think probably maybe within 5 seconds of each other. Maybe more, maybe less. I haven't really tested that, but even at times when I've kind of slipped my thumb and I wasn't sure if I got the 3rd tap in time, it went through no problem. So I'd say it works pretty well. So yep, here is more views, selfie view. So the face tracking is working right now. So if I kind of set the camera down here, in fact, let me try this out. Try and set the camera down right here, slightly tilted surface. Okay, probably too tilted. Right here. Nope, still too tilted. Maybe with a rock. Alright, well, that's not going to work for this demonstration. Anyway, so if I move the camera just kind of left, it will follow me. Pretty clean. You can kind of get the idea of what the color balance is, the contrast, the shadows, how well does it handle light. Pretty good actually, because I got direct sunlight coming through these trees right here. And it might be a little overexposed there, burned in, but I think it adjusts pretty well. And yeah, let's flip it around one more time. 1, 2, 3. There, see, so that worked. So, tilting up with the joystick, very handy, very handy. There's a couple things I still haven't quite figured out how to make it work, like the object tracking. Like, it'll automatically do faces, but I still haven't. I don't know if you hold the screen. Like, let me try this here. Yeah, so holding the screen doesn't do anything, but look at a rock. Yep. Details of plants. So here's my hand, make a shaka. That's pretty decent. So there's a thumb. So that's about thumb's length away. Right there. Down a little bit. There you go. Get an idea of how far this thing focuses. But yeah, so far very impressed with the daytime footage. This camera is known to struggle more in low light conditions. You know, it's got a relatively small sensor. You know, with the way that smartphones are these days, that's people's standard of how well a camera should handle low light. And a lot of smartphones are pretty good. I mean, even like the S8 can handle low light pretty good if you know how to mess around with it. It's the same thing with this camera. So if you set it, you know, at a certain, if you set the ISO all the way up, or usually the EV shift, if you shift that up all the way to 3 in dark conditions, it'll bring out a lot of shadows instead of making it look pitch black, which is what a lot of people were complaining about with the first iterations of the Palm when it came out just a couple months ago. Of course, as a direct competitor to the DJI Osmo Pocket, Fimi is part of, what's the company called again? Xiaomi. Of course, Xiaomi and DJI are both based in China, and of course, you know, they are pretty much leading the way on AI gimbal technology right now, with drones and everything else. So yeah, get a little bit more of an idea of the color contrast here, especially like here's the shadowy area on that side, more of the lit areas right here. It's pretty good, I'd say. And of course, that joystick really is very useful. So I think the red color of the leaves here in the tree is coming out pretty good. Looks pretty good on the screen. You know, the screen is not huge, but it's perfectly functional for what you'll generally be using it for. So that looks pretty good to me. So right now I have it on follow mode, so I think You know, if you tilt up, it'll look up with you. If you look down, it'll look down with you.